The history and heritage of the Cohoes Falls area is like no other. Everyone who comes here sees something greater than themselves, and we invite you to do the same. For centuries, the Cohoes Falls have been a magnet for people and activity, giving rise to communities and industries. Their raw natural power is what gave them their distinctive name. Native American stories and legends describe maidens and warriors succumbing to the fall's mighty power in their canoes. The name Cohoes is traced back to the Iroquois, meaning overturned canoe or a canoe falling. It has been said that Hiawatha, the great peacemaker of the Iroquois tribe, who banded together the Seneca, Cayugas, Onondagas, Oneidas, and Mohawks to form the Iroquois Confederacy, was inspired to do so through a vision of peace while at the falls. Early colonials also began venturing up the Hudson River to the Mohawk River, where they also would witness the power of the falls. Documents going back as far as the 1600s tell of the awe that these early visitors felt. In 1804, the great Irish poet Thomas Moore, inspired by his visit to the falls, chose to immortalize the site in a 34-line poem entitled Lines Written at the Cohoes Falls of the Mohawk River, which opens, "From the rise of morn till set of sun, I have seen the mighty Mohawk run. Oh, I have thought, and thinking sighed, how like to thee, thou restless tide, but urgent as the doom calls, thy water to its destined falls, and the last current cease to run. O may my falls be as bright as thine, may heaven's forgiving rainbow shine upon the mist that circles me, as soft as now it hangs over thee." Soon there were other visitors who saw more than aesthetic beauty in the falls. They looked over the falls at the rivers, surrounding islands, plains, and plateaus, and recognized them as a rich, productive resource. This vision initially began as agricultural development. In the late 1600s, the Van Skyke family settled on what was called Havers Island. Havers is Dutch for oats. They eventually built a mansion on the island in 1755 that still stands there today as a historical monument. However, what made the Van Skykes noteworthy wasn't their oats. Their generous support and strategic location as a military headquarters proved crucial during the French and Indian War and the American Revolution. The great General George Washington and other revolutionary figures, such as Benedict Arnold, passed through the doors of the Van Skyke Mansion. The American Revolution wasn't the only revolution this area witnessed. Soon to come was the Industrial Revolution. Before that could happen, routes of transportation needed to be established to lay the groundwork for what was to come. The original Erie Canal ran through both Cohoes and Waterford. By connecting the Great Lakes to the Atlantic Ocean, American industry boomed. You can still stroll along the towpath where the mules would have pulled the barges through Cohoes and take a visit to the locks in Waterford and see all kinds of boats, old and new, and even see the locks in action. During the mid to late 19th century, Cohoes flourished thanks to the power generated from the falls, the transportation provided by the canals and railways, and its central location on the Hudson and Mohawk rivers. The two companies leading the way in Cohoes were the Cohoes Company and the Harmony Manufacturing Company. The Cohoes Company built the water canals that would serve as the power source for the mills. Harmony Manufacturing's Mill Number 3 was the largest building of its kind in America when it was completed. By 1900, all of the Harmony Manufacturing mills produced a staggering 1.6 million yards of cotton cloth a week. Today, Harmony Mills has been renovated to house remarkable condominiums overlooking the Mohawk River. Irish, French-Canadian, Italian, Polish, Russian, and Ukrainian immigrants all flocked to the city to fulfill their American dreams as the need for workers became so abundant. These mixture of cultures culminated in a very diverse and vibrant community. The wonderful collection of historic photographs shown during this presentation were brought forward by Mike Pender, a local photographer and collector of historical images. Let us take a moment to listen as he shares his thoughts on the area and why he brought these forward.
Well, I feel Cohoes is a place of destiny multiple times through history. And it's a place of transformation. You know, you start off in the beginning even with how important it was to the Iroquois. It was a sacred place to them. And then when it got to the American Revolution, I mean, obviously the Van Skyke Mansion was a fortress and it had the encampment of the troops, but it was a place of destiny again, because from the Van Skyke Mansion they went to Saratoga to change the direction of the war, and eventually we won our freedom. And then with the Industrial Revolution, it was a place of destiny again. I mean, it was the right place at the right time. We were at the joining where the Hudson and Mohawk rivers came together, and with the resources, it was just the right place to build a town that would prosper. It had the natural resources. They made bricks, they had stone quarries, they built the mills. So, you know, it seems like again and again over history, it was just a place of destiny, you know, and there's a lot of layers of history in this town, you know, that can have stories to be told. I think the transformation has begun again with the help of Brookfield Power Company and making it easier for people to enjoy the natural beauty of the falls and giving them the opportunity to see the falls at different times of the year. And there's different places, the Harmony House, the Smith's Restaurant, and then what the people have just done with the Harmony Mill Number 3, they transformed it into apartments, but they still maintained the outside, the beauty of the structure itself. And that was one of the biggest cotton mills in the nation, in the world at one time. So they're preserving a historic icon, and I think that's what needs to take place. I think we need to develop our historic places and have it as a classroom. I feel that people can learn from the history of their town. In other words, what took place in the past might help to inspire the children or adults. Maybe they can come up with a better Cohoes.